Welcome to Crypto OGs.
Welcome to Crypto G's. We're still here in Utah at the Nerd Studio. We have my good friend here, Thomas Crowley. Thank you so much, Thomas, for coming to the show.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for the invite. It's awesome to be here.
We met 3 days ago, and we started to talk about nodes, decentralization, layer 1, layer 2. We went crazy talking about all of this. We actually were drawing in a restaurant, in a piece of paper, about how we can enhance some of the stuff that we have seen in the nodes industry. But we get there.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Before I start to talk about this, let's talk about Thomas Crowley. Who is Thomas?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's me, right? No, but I guess the question, like, who am I? I'm just somebody who just loves learning, loves the technology, helping companies find product market fit, and really get to scale. My life goal is to eventually be on a number of boards and help companies reach scale and just find fit. And I love bleeding edge of technologies. That's kind of what eventually drew me to crypto. But that's kind of who I am. And like,
amazing.
Summary.
And Thomas, how was your life before crypto? What you used to do?
Yeah, so I actually, after uni, so I graduated from college, from BYU in business.
Yeah.
And as I thought about that career goal, I was like, well, how do I get there? And then really looking at that. And a big thing was that I needed to find a way to become as an executive and start helping to run businesses. And a common feature that was sales. So I went into sales, specifically financial advising. So I went to work for Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo Advisors, and got my licenses there and was a financial advisor for a time. But the goal wasn't just to sell; the goal was to go build stuff. Yeah. And so while at Wells Fargo, I was able to switch my career into product. And I got into product and started helping Wells Fargo develop their digital investment platforms, their robo-advisory platforms, and that was awesome. But I knew I needed to keep moving. So I went on and got an MBA out at Oxford.
Amazing.
Yeah, and loved that. If anybody has a chance to do that, do it. It's an amazing program, amazing opportunity. But throughout that time, I started getting more and more exposed to crypto. And like definitely in saving up for an MBA because college is ridiculously expensive. I was very conservative and unfortunately didn't like hindsight 2020. I wish I had put all my savings into crypto at that time, or just more aggressively into the stock markets or anything, or just markets in general. But I made the choice for me not to, which was the right choice for me at that time, and made it through. But now I'm here in crypto.
You are here. Yeah. Thomas, something that people think also about crypto entrepreneurship, not everybody has to be the investor, or nobody has to, because we need people that are behind the product, behind the companies to run them. Yeah, because imagine everybody get super rich and nobody works. No, we need,
for sure.
We need content creators, we need developers, we need engineers, we need directors, we need people like you also. But now you're in a good position right now, because then you joined the Smart Team. Tell us about how you start to join the Smart Team.
Yeah, so it actually started while I was doing my MBA. So I realized in my last term, we call it summer term at Oxford. Well, I guess that's kind of normal. I say Oxford. I give that qualification because fall in Oxford, we call it Michaelmas. Okay. And you got Hillary and Trinity terms, and then we ran out of pretentiousness, and we just summer. That's what we call it, or long vacation, right? And I had some bandwidth at that time in my MBA because we were doing electives, and then I got reached out to by some of the projects out here and said, "Hey, can you start helping advise and help us get from 0 to 1 on strategy?" And thinking about it. And so that brought me into the world of a bunch of crypto projects out here, and started advising them and working with them of problem solving. And eventually that turned into a full-time gig, getting pulled on, and that's how I got onto Smart.
Amazing. And tell everybody that's watching or listening to this podcast, what is Smart?
Yeah, so Smart is our fundamental ethos is that consumers or creators of data should be the primary benefactors of their data and the value it creates. And that's a very, very broad ethos. And so the way that Smart applies to that or approaches that is we say, okay, Smart is using blockchain to create products, that help people leverage their data in meaningful ways. Okay. And so that's still very, very broad. And so as we narrow it down, as we look into it, that's where we first said, okay, what kind of data do we want to work with? And we looked at our team's profile, and our team has lots of experience in solar and smart home and IoT devices and just network systems, right? So we said, okay, that's a lot of data, and what can we do? And so now we're building projects and products that directly first interact with that data. And so IoT devices are a main source of that data. How can you have sovereignty over that data is like the ultimate goal, but like why would I care? I mean, that's one of the interesting things about this space, and one of the challenges is the majority of people we know that we're giving up our data whenever we get on social media or use navigation apps, right? And I'm not going to name any names. We all know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like we're just giving our data away because we get this cool free stuff. And the question that we're putting out to the market is, well, what is if you get more out of your own data? And what is if you had a voice in how other people use your data? And so we're building tools that help you look at your historic behavior, and build a reward system to shape good behavior and reward good behavior.
Yeah.
Now that we have that, now we can say, okay, now we know how your historic
Because in reality, look, I studied telecommunication engineer.
Yep.
But I remember I was reading a lot about domotic.
Yeah.
It was like many years ago, before we have all these devices that we have at home. It was very like something from the future, right? I never imagined that you could do all of this with the device that we have at home.
Yep.
But also, people start to get more interested, or they're more like aware about what devices they have at home. Not only from the let's say health point of view, because some people don't like to have devices next to their bed.
Right.
But also the privacy is very important, right? So I won't mention any name of company, but sometimes I'm talking about something I like. I don't know, a new jacket, and then I get an ad about jackets, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm talking.
It's crazy how
even
that
if I
happens,
don't have my phone with me, maybe I left my phone downstairs, but I have my device next to me in the bed, and I'm talking about glasses, and then 2 hours later they're targeting me with glasses. So that's the next question for you. I think so that's what Smart's trying to solve. So give obviously power back to the consumer in a smart way.
Yeah, no pun intended.
in a smart way, but also what I could perceive is like the long-term vision is like people get reward for this as well. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're leveraging blockchain and digital rewards as the incentive mechanism, because for a lot of us, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm not very excited to do something unless I see that value. Right?
Yes.
Like I got to change my way. I got to brush my teeth using my left hand now so I can be ambidextrous. And why, right? My right hand's perfectly fine, but once I injure that right hand, now I have motivation. So now we don't want people to get injured. We want people to give them a reason now, give them a purpose to become ambidextrous or get out of their paradigm and step up their level, elevate them and have a better life.
Amazing. And what is the next in the roadmap? I know roadmaps within Web3 projects are constantly changing.
Yeah, futures.
But
Anything future.
Let's say within the next 3 months.
Yeah.
What is coming for Smart?
Well, so one thing to call out is that we're just getting started.
Okay.
So our next 3 months is really getting Compass up and running. All right. And so we helped support the IQ blockchain launch. That was last Thursday. So the blockchain just got launched. And we're all about trying to build that, support building that community and really getting the project built there. And then Smart is looking to partner with that community and leverage that blockchain to go build Compass and go build everything else.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess to answer your question directly, what's next on that phase of Compass?
Yeah.
Getting that out the door is going to take probably 6 to 8 months probably really to get it robust and find market fit. Hoping to get an alpha test out as soon as we can. But then after that, it's like Compass is a tool designed for sales organizations on getting those IoT devices into people's homes in an ethical way and rewarding that behavior, right? And because that's how we start to get into, we get that trust, we start get a proven track record with the suppliers of the IoT devices. So there's the sales organizations that are selling the suppliers' goods, and that's how they get there. And we can leverage that relationship to now say, okay, now that we've proven our value in the market, we can take the architecture of Compass and apply it to the homeowner now and build the reward system and start getting to the real work, the real vision of smart, right? And we call that, to distinguish that between the sales organizations and the customer, the homeowner, we call it Compass and Meter. Okay. So we're staying in kind of like this measuring devices.
Engineering.
Yeah, exactly.
When we were little, we have to use the compass.
Yeah, you had to use the compass to draw your circles and then your meters and all that. And so that's kind of like, those are our like first two go-to-market projects.
Amazing. Okay, so guys, by the way, when this episode got released, we probably leave all the links around here so people can go and check Smart. Yep. But I have two more questions for you, Tom.
Yeah, please.
You are very successful at what you're doing. You got an MBA from Oxford. I'm pretty sure your family, everybody's proud of you. But what would you choose if you didn't have to go through the Web3 path? Like, what would you be doing right now?
I would do something totally different.
Yeah.
I've always had a fascination with space.
Space, okay.
Yeah, and particularly what's really one thing in Oxford I really got involved with was the commercial space movement. And so Oxford is really pushing to be a forerunner in that. Okay. And so we had every Tuesday night, we'd get together on a Zoom call because it's still kind of like post-COVID kind of weirdness, right? We had a couple in-person events, but every Tuesday I'd get on a phone with industry leaders, people from SpaceX, people from ESA, NASA, and we just talk about what's happening in the space sector. And like when I wash the dishes, like we'll have dinner, my wife and I will have dinner, I'll be washing dishes and I'll turn on engineering videos. And I'll just like watch the progress of SpaceX or Blue Origin or just any of them, China, like all of the governments. I try to keep it wraps on like global news on all of that. Yeah. And I would, if I were to switch, I'd probably try to find something in space. Like I come from the fintech side, financial health, and that's what kind of brought me to crypto. And I love that space, and I love having that real world value. But if I could find something. If I had a switch,
it's space.
Probably space, yeah.
Actually, hello to my friends. I have a friend. His name is Sebastian Mencia. He used to work for SpaceX in the engineering part of the rockets. Yeah. Yeah. So from Colombia. So
that's
awesome. He lives in it. But I find fascinating also space because it's the future.
Yeah, the frontier.
It's the frontier. Yeah. Let's see if we can get some blockchain technology before going to space.
There's actually some projects already happening. A big one, the name's escaping me right now, but a big one they're looking at is securing communications between satellites. Oh, wow. And using blockchain to secure those packets as they travel between the satellites and make sure there's stronger communication.
Amazing. Yeah. Thomas, you talk about SpaceX and about rockets and about you were in Oxford talking to people, from different areas. Yeah. But within crypto, according to you, who is the OG of the crypto blockchain space? Who is that person that you look at and say, okay, this person is a leader, somebody that you admire?
Yeah. It's a wonderful question, and I think that I gotta give props to Satoshi. Okay. And the work, like
Satoshi.
Yeah, like I mean, just the fact, particularly if you phrase it like who is like the really OG of crypto and blockchain.
Nakamoto.
Nakamoto really gets that prize of that and statement. But as you look at, and I made sure to write them down so I didn't mispronounce their names because I didn't want to. You got Sean Fanning from Napster, who was the first one to really get peer-to-peer file sharing going. And like,
is that also the guy that helped Facebook?
I believe so. Yeah. And then you had W. Scott Storetta, who is like widely considered the father of blockchain and like that first concept of like.
First time I hear it.
Yeah, I know. Like it's kind of an obscure nerd that's like out there, but I really love like I gotta give the kudos and like the podium Satoshi. But these guys really set the foundation for peer-to-peer communications and blocks and all of that. And so I got to give also them credit. But given you asked it as an and statement, I'll give it to.
Okay. Thomas, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Oh, absolutely.
And thank you so much for inviting me to Utah, to the whole nerd community.
Yeah, come
and
anytime.
The people is smart. And thank you so much for all the meeting the last 2-3 days.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure.
And thank you so much for everybody to watching. Keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye on Thomas and the smart team. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.